We are live, Unoriginal FC back in the cut. And Manchester United have won their opening game of the Premier League season 1-0 against Fulham. I don't know. Listen, we take the wins any way we can. Listen, I'm going to take the win. 3 points. You always want to start off the season right. But I do have mixed emotions with that game. The first half, the first 20 minutes of that first half, I was thinking, oh no, not again. The same sort of problems we were facing last season. Midfield getting cut open. Fulham on a counter-attack. Finding space galore in our attacking half. In our defensive third, just finding all sorts of space. And I'm thinking, oh man, it's a repeat of last season. Getting run ragged. But United calmed things down. The last 20, 25 minutes of that first half, United really started putting their foot on the gas, started controlling the game, dominated the ball, dominated possession. Midfield was looking good. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, that second half of the first half, well, that last 25 minutes of the first half, United were playing like a team we haven't seen for a while. We didn't see that kind of football last season. Mazraoui was brilliant today. Mazraoui down that right-hand side was brilliant today. Brilliant debut. Looked so tidy and comfortable on the ball. Very, very, very intense off of the ball. Intense work rate. Very aggressive. And athletically, man, he surprised me, man. He can move, man. He can shift. Maguire, brilliant in defence all game. Hooked off later for De Ligt. But Maguire was top tier today. I have to say, him and Mazraoui were brilliant. Ahmad in the first half, well, that's especially in that last 25 minutes of the first half where United started really gaining control of the game and putting pressure and creating chances. Ahmad and Mainu and Mazraoui were linking up really well in close quarters and tight spaces, playing some good football. Bruno was picking up some good spaces up front, getting into dangerous positions. Bruno missed so many chances today, though. His finishing was atrocious. Today. He had 3 clear-cut... Well, I wouldn't say 3. He had 2 clear-cut opportunities that he should have put away. This should have been a far more comfortable game after the first half. We should have been 2-0 up going into the second half. But again, Bruno was finding great positions in the box, making great runs to find himself in good positions, but the finishing was just abysmal. And outside of that, though, I will say on the ball, Bruno was caught lacking a few times. Looked like not having a pre-season caught up to him fairly quickly. Kobbie Mainoo, a bit of a mixture of a game as well. Had some good touches on the ball, showed his ability at times. But still in that midfield getting overrun. And in that second half, especially when Mount came off, even though Mount's not great on the ball, he did provide a lot of legs in that midfield. He was a great engine in that midfield. He was covering a lot of space. I think when he came off in that second half, when Ahmad came off in the second half, you could see that we lost control of the game. In midfield, Fulham were finding gaps in our midfield yet again. Finding themselves in brilliant counter-attacking positions to score. And, I mean, Fulham were atrocious going forward. They didn't know what to do with the ball up front. Especially that one situation where you had Andres Pereira and Iwobi in a 2v1 situation against Maguire. You had the whole pitch. And Pereira somehow, instead of laying it off to Iwobi, who was in tons of space, he would have been through on goal. Somehow hits Maguire's leg. Horrible attacking play from Fulham, but Fulham were finding a lot of joy in that midfield in the second half with Mount coming off and Bruno dropping in, Zirkzee going up top as a substitution. But I was happy to see Zirkzee, man. And he shows why you need a focal point up top, man. What a striker's finish from him. That was a brilliant finish. The cross wasn't the greatest from Garnacho. Didn't give him much to work with, but Zirkzee made it happen. Just poked his leg out. Brilliant finish into the bottom corner. Proper striker's finish. Real happy for Zirkzee. You know, it's always nice to score your debut at home. And I think he should be starting next week. I think when you have a striker like that, to start a game with no striker, with no recognised striker, to me that's criminal. Should never be happening. And I think Zirkzee should start next week. But overall, performance-wise, I saw a lot of the same things I saw last season. Whilst I saw a lot more positives, I think we did play far better than we did play in our opening game last season against Wolves. I think there were spells in the game where we dominated the ball and we were creating chances. But overall, I think there was still a lot more of the same old Erik ten Hag. You know, massive gaps in midfield, getting caught on the break. And against better opposition, I'm worried. I'm worried because if we allow those spaces, if we show those spaces in midfield again, we will get exposed. We will get exposed by better opposition. If you have teams that are able to find themselves in positions that Fulham found themselves in today, especially in that second half, we will get punished. We will be punished because there are teams that are better going forward, have better attacking options. We will be punished if we play that same sort of football next week. So yeah, whilst I did see some positives, there was a lot of the same negatives. And I don't like that because, I'll be honest with you, yeah, it's first game of the season and we got the win. But I have to look at the evidence. And the evidence going on from last season into the first game this season. Some minor changes, but not enough changes for me to say, okay, I'm confident in this team going forward. We need to rectify those gaps in midfield. We need to rectify teams being able to have fun in our midfield and finding all sorts of space and being able to find themselves in great positions on the counter-attack. We will get punished by better teams. We'll get punished by far better teams. I promise you that. Rashford, I'm not going to lie to you, man. He was not great today. Yeah, I mean, for me, taking off Ahmad when Rashford performs the way he constantly performs, it just stinks. It just stinks because Rashford doesn't deserve to play full 90s. Not with the way he's performing. He's unable to beat his man, unable to hold up the ball, unable to control the ball. I mean, he just looks off. I don't know what it is with Rashford, but he just looks off. You know, at the end of the game, I mean, he goes through on goal. You've got Garnacho, and he plays it through to he plays it off to the side to Garnacho. Garnacho, wide open goal. And Garnacho absolutely fluffs his lines. How he's missed, I have no idea. An open goal like that and you miss. Poor. It was harder to miss that chance. That was poor from Garnacho. You've got to bury those. But ultimately, a win is a win. We'll take it. Very happy for Zirkzee. Brilliant cameo off the bench. Looks tidy on the ball. Brilliant strikers finish. We're going to need more of that from you, Zirkzee. We're going to need more of that. You know, Casemiro, pretty good today. There were times where he struggled to obviously keep up with midfield, with Fulham in midfield when there were the huge gaps, and obviously Casemiro doesn't have the legs to cover that kind of ground. So there were times where he struggled, but for the most part, he was our best midfielder today. I would say he was one of our better players today. Maguire, Mazraoui, Casemiro played a very good game today. The rest, so. I guess Martinez was decent, but the rest was so. But on to next week. Hopefully we build on this performance. Hopefully we improve upon our midfield, upon covering those gaps, because we really need to do that. Hopefully we're better defending in transition, because we can't allow the spaces we allowed Fulham today in you know, going forward. We can't allow other teams to occupy the spaces that Fulham occupied in that second half today, because we will get punished. So overall, a lot of the same things we saw last season that I didn't like, but there were some more positives. I saw spells of the game where we dominated, where we had good possession, created some chances. So hopefully the boys can build off the confidence of an opening day win, and we see a far better performance next week. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Unoriginal FC, over and out.